I am Taren Price. I'm a recovered alcoholic by the grace of God and the 12 Steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. So I just always felt like I didn't fit in. I always was on the outside looking in. Always felt like that. I liked motorcycle people, and so I became a motorcycle person. And as part of the lifestyle in a way, drugs and alcohol just took me to places that people just don't normally go. But most people who do drugs and alcohol, it takes us to places that you don't ever expect. Most of the time I was pushing down the feelings of inadequacy, of unworthiness. And the more that I drank, the more that I drugged, the more that I acted out promiscuously, the easier it was to just keep filling my love bucket up with everything but something good. I was married at 18 years old, and my first husband and I were too young and really didn't know each other. And through a series of events, that marriage lasted 4 years with 2 children, and I became a single mom trying to make it in the welfare system of California. The more I drank and drugged, the less and less I believed that I was capable of exceeding. I was less capable of believing that I would be able to hit the mark at the end. And in doing that, I just kind of put whatever dream I had to the back burner. Through a series of events, I drank my children away. And what I mean by that is I drank my rent money, my roommate's rent money, and I was going to the streets. And I couldn't live like that, so I gave my kids to their dad, and that started a 2.5-year adventure with really helpful people. And then I met the husband of 32 years as I was walking out of a bar at 10 in the morning. He was walking in the bar, and our life for 12 years was drugs and alcohol and motorcycle people. And in that period of time, I had a premature baby. Life just got to where we couldn't continue living like that. Saw things, did things, put my kids in positions that were just not what you hope for when you're a parent. And I worked with a man who every day he looked like he picked his clothes up off the floor to put them on to come to work. And one day he walked in and his clothes were pressed and his hair was combed and he had a smile on his face, and something was wrong with him. There was something different about him. For 5 years, he continually talked to me about recovery, being recovered, things that could happen. He had came to Believe retreat, came back, and he was even more on fire to have me and my husband look at this way of living, but we just weren't ready. When we became ready, it took a treatment center for my husband, and it took pride and martyrism, because that's what I was. I was a martyr. I thought, how could you put your husband in a $30,000 treatment facility and still be doing drugs and alcohol? A year out of that, he took us to a Came to Believe retreat, and I met Grace Snyder. Closest thing to heaven I've ever seen in my life. She put her hands on my cheek and she kissed my forehead, and she told me I was an angel. And for the first time in my life, I honestly believed that what could be possible, that I could be worthy of something. Never felt anything like that in my life. By the end of that weekend, I met the woman who became my sponsor, who guided my life until she passed away. And my life went on a whole different trajectory. 6 years after that retreat, my husband and I were asked if we would like to facilitate a retreat. So for the last 16 years, my husband and I facilitated a retreat in Prescott, Arizona. How could I not give back to people who gave me so much? Just because that was what they're willing to do. So I'll travel anywhere they ask me to travel. I'll do anything they ask me to do, because I know the return. From Friday, you watch people come in with no hope, feeling like there's nothing. And by Sunday, you can see that all of that stuff that they believed about themselves that were lies are dismissed and removed. And they're put on a path that they can live in a better way. Know that you're worth it. And if you don't feel like you're worth it, come and find out that you are. Because I found that here. You know, the promises tell us that that feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. It does. It's just a whole different way of living. And I wouldn't want to live any other way. I'm grateful.